When you chose the cat, not me. The couch was still warm where she used to sit. Noah stood in the middle of the apartment, silent, surrounded by boxes that didn't belong to him. The only sound was the soft clicking of Binks's paws as the cat circled the coffee table, then jumped up onto Riley's pillow. She didn't take the pillow, didn't take the framed photo of the three of them, didn't take the cat. Just like that, 3 years collapsed into one word she barely whispered on her way out. I can't do this anymore. No big fight, no betrayal, no explanation, only vague words like, we've grown apart, and it's not about you. But no one knew. It was about everything. The silences, the cold dinners, the way she stopped laughing at his stupid memes. She had been leaving for a while. Today, she just made it official. Riley, he had tried, standing by the door, gripping the keys she left behind on the counter. She didn't turn around. Only Binks watched her leave, ears twitching, tail low. 3 years ago, they'd found Binks in the rain behind a gas station, skinny, scared, and soaked to the bone. Noah wanted to take him in. Riley said, "No way, we just moved in, we're barely settled." But when Binks purred against her leg, she melted. "Okay, but you're scooping the litter." "Deal," Noah had grinned. They named him Binks after the black cat in Hocus Pocus. It was Riley's favorite movie. That night, the three of them fell asleep together on an air mattress, the city buzzing outside, and the future wide open. Now, 3 years later, that same cat curled up in the same spot Riley used to sleep, right on her pillow. Every night. Noah couldn't decide if it made things better or worse. He tried to go about his day, opened Uber Eats, closed it, scrolled Instagram, regretted it. Her profile was still there, still public. Noah hovered his thumb over block. Didn't do it. He just turned the screen off and let it fall on the couch beside him. Binks climbed into his lap, pressing his nose against his hand. No meows, just warmth. "Guess it's just you and me now, huh?" Noah muttered. Binks blinked. That night, as the lights of the city poured through the window and the silence of the apartment became too loud to bear, Noah finally let himself cry. No loud sobs, just quiet, exhausted grief. Tears that didn't ask for attention, just release. And Binks, like he knew, didn't leave his side. Didn't sleep in his usual spot by the window. He curled up right on Noah's chest, purring like a tiny engine, grounding him to the moment. He remembered something Riley once said, during one of their late-night fights over who loved Binks more. "If we ever broke up, I'm taking him. You'd survive. I wouldn't." Noah had laughed back then. "He likes me more anyway." That joke aged like milk. Now she was gone, and Binks had stayed.
The apartment didn't change. The couch, the dishes, the plants, still there. Only Riley was gone, and Binks wasn't. Noah stopped sleeping through the night. Most nights he'd wake up around 3 a.m., eyes staring at the ceiling. Sometimes he'd turn his head and see Binks curled up next to him, wide-eyed and still, like he was keeping watch. Noah didn't talk to anyone. He muted the group chats, ignored the texts, even stopped answering his mom. The only one who stayed was a black cat with white paws and a habit of sitting right at the bedroom door, like he was waiting for someone who wasn't coming back. One night, Noah muttered out loud, voice hoarse, "You know I'm falling apart, right, Binks?" The cat just blinked and bumped his head softly into Noah's arm. He remembered the fights. Not about money, not even about other people. About Binks. Riley used to say she fed him more, took him to the vet, cleaned his litter box. Noah always argued back, "But he sleeps with me every night. That says something." They once gave each other this silent treatment for a week just because neither of them cleaned the litter box. But the night before she left, Riley had crumpled on the floor, holding Binks so tight his ears folded back. "No matter what happens, I'll never leave him." She whispered it like a promise. Now she was gone. And Binks stayed. He had a strange routine. In the mornings, he'd sit on the windowsill, exactly where Riley used to stand with a towel in her hair. At night, he curled into the corner of the couch, where she used to read books, legs tucked under a blanket. He once caught him pawing gently at Riley's old backpack, just pawing, quietly, as if searching for her scent. Noah slumped at the kitchen table, voice low. "You know he misses you, just like I do." 3 months. Then one Sunday morning, a buzz. Text, Riley. "Do you still have Binks?" That was it. No, "Hey." No, "How are you?" No, "I miss you." Just a question about the cat. Noah stared at the screen. Didn't reply. Left it unread. Days passed. Something shifted. He deleted Uber Eats, bought groceries, tried cooking again, pasta, the kind Riley used to make when they were broke and happy. Started going to the gym, not for abs, just to feel alive. Binks was always close. Sat on the edge of the yoga mat while Noah tried to do planks, watched from the window when he came back sweaty and tired. Then a DM from a mutual friend. "Hey, just so you know, Riley moved in with someone else, some new guy. They got a cat." She posted on her story. Noah opened her Instagram. Still public. He scrolled. There it was. A white, long-haired cat with a dumb pink collar. Caption, "Meet Mochi." Mochi, not Binks. His chest tightened. Mochi had Riley's smile next to her. Binks had none of it. So why the hell was she asking about Binks?
Binks jumped onto the kitchen counter. Noah didn't stop him anymore. "He used to be strict, no cats on surfaces where I eat. But now, the rules had faded, like the scent of Riley's perfume on the pillow she left behind." Noah stared at his phone. The message still sat there. From Riley. "Do you still have Binks?" He hadn't replied. It'd been 5 days. Every morning he opened the chat, stared at it, locked the phone again. Every night, same thing. Binks, as if sensing the tension, had taken to sleeping at the foot of the bed instead of curled next to Noah. Some kind of boundary. Almost like the cat knew what was coming. Tuesday afternoon, Noah was chopping vegetables, trying a TikTok recipe, spicy honey garlic tofu, Riley's favorite before she went full-on steakhouse girlfriend with the new guy. The knife froze mid-cut. New message from Riley. "He was mine too. I just want to know if he's okay." Noah set the knife down. He opened the chat, typed, deleted, typed again. "You didn't ask about me. You asked about the cat." He hovered over send, didn't press it. Instead, he clicked her Instagram again. There it was. Riley in a sundress, sitting on a rooftop with a guy who looked like he sold crypto but also did yoga. Mochi sat in the background wearing a ridiculous bow tie.
Binks meowed from the hallway. Noah glanced over. "Do you think I should text her back?" Binks just blinked, then walked away. Later that night, Noah couldn't sleep. He scrolled back through old photos. Him, Riley, and Binks. That one road trip to Oregon. Riley holding Binks in the back seat like a baby, grinning, hair in a messy bun. They used to joke they were a little family. Back then, it felt real, unbreakable. Now it was just Noah and a cat. The next morning, something snapped. He grabbed his phone and typed without thinking. "Binks is fine. He never left. Unlike some people." Send. He stared at the screen, heart pounding. The reply came 3 minutes later. "You don't have to be like that. I miss him." Miss him. Not you. That was clear. Noah didn't reply. Over the next few days, he tried to move forward again. He started painting. Not well, but enough. He painted a rough version of Binks, sitting on the couch with a big black void behind him and sunlight hitting one side of his face. He titled it, "The One Who Stayed." He posted it on his private Instagram. Only 14 people followed that account. Close friends, old art school buddies. One of them replied, "Damn, who hurt you?" Noah just replied with a black cat emoji. Saturday. He was out for a run. Binks liked to sit at the window and wait for him. But when he got back, Binks wasn't at the window. Weird. He walked in and stopped. Riley was in his living room, standing, holding her phone in one hand, the other resting on the couch like it still belonged to her. No knock, no call, just showed up. Noah's voice came out sharp. "You broke into my place?" Riley looked startled, then defensive. "Your landlord still thinks I live here. The coat didn't change." Noah dropped his keys on the counter. "So you just walked in? Thought you could take a stroll down memory lane?" Riley crossed her arms. "I came for Binks." The words hit like a slap. "Excuse me?" "I've thought about it a lot, and I think I made a mistake. I shouldn't have left him." Noah laughed, but it wasn't funny. "You left him. You left us, and now you want to come back for just the part that doesn't argue back." Riley stepped forward. "You always said he was your emotional support cat, but he was mine too. I named him, remember?" Noah's eyes narrowed. "You cried into his fur the night you left, told him you'd never leave. Then you did." She flinched. Silence. Then footsteps. Binks walked out from the bedroom, paused, looked at her. Riley knelt down, held out her hand. "Hey, baby, it's me." Binks didn't move, just sat, stared, then slowly turned and walked over to Noah. Noah bent down, picked him up gently. "You see, he already made his choice."
Noah stood still, Binks in his arms. Riley's jaw tightened. She didn't move, just stared at the cat like she was staring at something that used to be hers. "I'm serious," she said. "I came to get him. I want Binks back." Noah scoffed. "He's not a hoodie you left behind. He's not your houseplant. You don't just get him back." Riley took a deep breath. "I've talked to someone." "Who?" Noah snapped. "A therapist or a lawyer?" "Both," she replied. That shut him up. Riley pulled out her phone, tapped around, then held it up. "I have his adoption papers. My name is on them. Legally, he's mine." Noah didn't even look. "He lives here. He's been with me. For months. You left. You ghosted both of us." "You think cats don't miss people?" she said, voice rising. "You think I didn't cry about him every night?" Noah's hands gripped tighter around Binks. "Then why didn't you ask about him for 3 damn months?
Why did I find out you had a new cat before you ever said Binks's name again?" She hesitated. "I didn't want to confuse things with the new guy, and I thought Binks was better off." "He was," Noah said sharply. "He is." The air thickened. Binks squirmed slightly, sensing the tension. Riley took a step forward. "Look, I didn't come to fight. I need a piece of my old life, and he's all I have left." Noah's voice dropped. "You don't get to come back just because life didn't work out the way you thought. That's not how love or pets work." Riley blinked hard, but her voice stayed steady. "Then let's do it properly. Let's go to court." Noah froze. "You're gonna sue me? For the cat?" "If I have to," she said, lips trembling. "I've already looked it up." Binks meowed softly, almost like he was trying to cut the tension. Noah set Binks down gently. The cat walked over to the corner of the room, curled into a ball, eyes wide open. Noah looked Riley dead in the eye. "You know what hurts the most? It's not that you left. It's not even that you moved on. It's that the first time you texted me, after everything, it was about the cat, not us, not even me." Riley bit her lip. "I didn't know how to start." "You started with, 'Do you still have Binks?' That says everything." A long pause. Neither spoke. Then Noah turned away, walked to the cabinet, and pulled out a box. He placed it on the coffee table. It had Binks's vet papers, some old toys, a baby photo. "Take this," he said. "If you want proof that he existed in your life, take this." Riley slowly sat on the edge of the couch. She opened the box. Her hands trembled as she pulled out a photo. Riley, Noah, and a tiny kitten curled between them, all three of them smiling. Her eyes welled up. "You used to say we were a family." Noah nodded, voice quiet. "And then you left. Families don't leave." She reached into the box and took out a tiny bell from Binks's old collar, held it tight in her palm. Then she stood up. "I won't go to court," she said. "Not because you're right, but because maybe he already chose." She walked to the door, hand still gripping the bell. Before she opened it, she turned back. "I loved him. You know that, right?" Noah nodded once. "I think he did too." The door shut behind her. Noah stood in silence. Binks jumped back on the couch, stretched out, and meowed. Noah let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding, sat down next to him. "Guess it's just us again, huh?" Binks blinked, then headbutted Noah's hand. Noah smiled. "Yeah, you stayed. You didn't ask about me. You asked about the cat." He hovered over send, didn't press it. Instead, he clicked her Instagram again. There it was, Riley in his sundress, sitting on a rooftop with a guy who looked like he sold crypto but also did yoga. Mochi was sitting in the background wearing a ridiculous bow tie. Binks meowed from the hallway. Noah glanced over. "You think I should text her back?" Binks just blinked, then walked away. Later that night, Noah couldn't sleep. He scrolled back through old photos. Him, Riley, and Binks. That one road trip to Oregon, Riley holding Binks in the back seat like a baby, grinning, hair in a messy bun. They used to joke they were a little family. Back then, it felt real, unbreakable. Now it was just Noah and a cat. The next morning, something snapped. He grabbed his phone and typed without thinking. Binks is fine. He never left. Unlike some people. Send. He stared at the screen, heart pounding. The reply came 3 minutes later. You don't have to be like that. I miss him. Miss him, not you. That was clear. Noah didn't reply. Over the next few days, he tried to move forward again. He started painting. Not well, but enough. He painted a rough version of Binks sitting on the couch with a big black void behind him and sunlight hitting one side of his face. He titled it, The One Who Stayed. He posted it on his private Instagram. Only 14 people followed that account. Close friends, old art school buddies. One of them replied, Damn, who hurt you? Noah just replied with a black cat emoji. Pause. Saturday. He was out for a run. Binks liked to sit at the window and wait for him. But when he got back, Binks wasn't at the window. Weird. He walked in and stopped. Riley was in his living room, standing, holding her phone in one hand, the other resting on the couch like it still belonged to hers. No knock, no call, just showed up. Noah's voice came out sharp. You broke into my place? Riley looked startled, then defensive. Your landlord still thinks I live here. The code didn't change. Noah dropped his keys on the counter. So you just walked in, thought you could take a stroll down memory lane? Riley crossed her arms. I came for Binks. The words hit like a slap. Excuse me? I've thought about it a lot, and I think I made a mistake. I shouldn't have left him. Noah laughed, but it wasn't funny. You left him. You left us. And now you want to come back for just the part that doesn't argue back? She stepped forward. You always said he was your emotional support cat. But he was mine too. I named him, remember? Noah's eyes narrowed. You cried into his fur the night you left, told him you'd never leave, then you did. She flinched. Silence. Then footsteps. Binks walked out from the bedroom, paused, looked at her. Riley knelt down, held out her hand. Hey, baby! It's me! Binks didn't move, just sat, stared, then slowly turned and walked over to Noah. Noah bent down, picked him up gently. You see? He said softly. He already made his choice.
Noah didn't sleep that night. He didn't cry either. Just sat on the kitchen floor, legs stretched out, back leaning against the fridge, a half-finished glass of water beside him. Binks lay across his lap, purring, like he'd done every night Noah had broken down and every morning he'd gotten back up. Outside, the world moved on. Inside, time stood still. Noah whispered into the stillness, You really stayed, huh? Binks blinked at him slowly, then headbutted his chest. The next morning, Noah woke up on the couch, with Binks curled under his chin like a tiny pillow. He reached for his phone. No new texts, no missed calls. Riley was gone, again, and this time the silence felt like a full sentence. He made coffee, put on a hoodie that didn't smell like her, and opened his laptop. Search, how to legally register a pet in California.
Click, scroll, read. And then register as official owner, upload a photo of you and your pet, proof of vaccination, your signature. Click, submit, done. It was the most permanent thing he'd done in months. Days turned to weeks. Noah started cooking again. Not just frozen pizza, but actual recipes. Sunday morning pancakes, pasta with too much garlic. Binks sat on the counter like a little black kitchen supervisor, tail twitching with every sizzle from the pan. He returned to the gym, not to punish himself, but to move, to sweat the ghosts out of his body. He re-downloaded Instagram, deleted the photos with Riley, not out of hate, but because that version of him didn't live here anymore. He kept one photo, Binks as a kitten, sitting in Riley's hoodie with a caption that said, "Day one with this gremlin. We named him Binks. He already owns us." Noah didn't archive it, didn't delete it, just let it stay. Quiet history. One night, his friend Jay invited him out. Just a few people, rooftop drinks, nothing serious. Noah almost said no. But then he looked at Binks, who tilted his head like, "Dude, you need air." Noah laughed and put on clean jeans. At the rooftop bar, someone asked, "So, you got any pets?" He didn't hesitate. "Yeah, a cat. His name's Binks. He saved my life." Sometimes the healing doesn't roar. It doesn't scream with closure or slam the door behind it. Sometimes it purrs. It shows up in the way you fold laundry on a Sunday afternoon. In the moment you realized your heart didn't ache when you walked past her favorite coffee shop. In the way you say, "I'm okay," and mean it. One rainy evening, Noah came home, soaked and shivering. He dropped his umbrella, kicked off his shoes, and called out, "Binks?" No answer. Weird. He checked the bedroom. Not there. Not in the closet. Not under the bed. Panic bloomed in his chest. "Binks!" Then he heard it, a soft meow from the bathroom. He pushed the door open. Binks was sitting in the tub, staring at the faucet like it had told him a secret. Noah let out a breath and laughed. "You scared the hell out of me, man." He sat on the bathroom floor, still dripping wet. Binks walked over, curled up on his lap, like it was all part of the plan. Later that night, he lit a candle and wrote in his notes app, "Healing isn't loud. It's a cat waiting at the door when you come home. It's choosing yourself, even when someone else didn't. It's realizing you're not alone, not really, not anymore." He looked at Binks. "Thanks for staying, buddy." Binks blinked, then yawned. Somewhere out there, Riley was living her life, maybe still with the other guy, maybe with another cat. But that wasn't Noah's story anymore. This tiny apartment, this quiet night, this cat purring beside him, this was his. He didn't need closure. He had peace. And peace didn't knock. It curled up next to you and went to sleep.
It had been 4 months. 4 full moons. 6 vet visits. 12 times Noah almost texted her. And 1 letter he wrote, but never sent.